I have communicated to him my deep admiration for his resilience, focus, and hard work, which has been paid off by the party as a result of yesterday's achievement. I have taken the decision to take a break from elective politics starting 10th of August 2022. I have decided that I will not be seeking for any appointive position whatsoever. However, I will remain available to my country in future should an opportunity arise to seek leadership positions that may be available at the national level in the future. That future, I don't know when it will be.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go, we think.
Well, from a possible running mate for Deputy President William Ruto to a sabbatical seemingly out of the blues. What next for Tharaka Nithi Senator Kithure Kindiki? Well, we speak to the Professor of Law and two-time Senator right now on Newsnight. Senator, welcome to the program. Many thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be discussing some of the statements that you made yesterday shortly. But first things first, I think we better start with the events of the weekend. And I'm sure it's a question everyone's been asking you. You were projected, Senator, as the favorite to occupy the post of running mate for Deputy President William Ruto. A post I imagine you were looking forward to occupying. What happened?
What happened is that I did not succeed in that aspiration. But I am extremely grateful that I was fortunate enough to be a finalist in that exercise. I say so because this is a country of 50 million Kenyans. Our party is a party of millions of people. And I know there are very many qualified Kenyans, even within UDA and Kenya Kwanza, some even more qualified than myself, who did not have that opportunity that I had of not only being identified from a huge pool of party members to be in the initial list of 6 hopefuls, and even more important, out of those 6 to go all the way to be a finalist with my brother Gachagua, who ended up taking the position. So I find that that was a very big privilege and blessing from God, and also a big step by our party to show that it really doesn't matter where one comes from. What matters is what you offer in terms of ideas for the country. So what happened is that there were a number of methods that were used.
Help us understand the process. Some of your supporters are still aggrieved this evening. Walk us through the process.
The process is complex for a number of reasons. For a number of reasons, because this has not been done for a long time in our country. The process of identifying running mates is a very new phenomenon in our country. So for our party, we used an array of methods. The first one was to try and figure out from opinion polls, those of us that were being mentioned. And so the party secretly, we came to find out later, secretly used opinion polls across the country to find out from our membership, those who are active in politics, who could be considered for running mates.
And that's we assume from your statement that you emerged tops, from what you heard.
Eventually, yes, and I'm saying there were various opinion polls done even before what happened the last 2 weeks. For the last 6 months, the party has been carrying out polls on this issue unknowingly to the party members. So through that polling and also conversations between party officials and the rank and file of the party, we were identified 6 of us, equally qualified, that is myself, Rigathi Gachagua, Speaker Justin Muturi, Ndindi Nyoro, Alice Wahome, and I think that's it, and myself, 6 of us. And what the party did, therefore, is to subject the 6 of us to further vetting. And the further vetting included further opinion polls and also electoral college, if you like, using the elected leaders, especially from the region where it had been agreed the running mate will come from, based on a number of things that had informed that decision. So in the polls that were carried out by the party, once the 6 were identified, it is true that I emerged on top.
And in the electoral college?
And before we go there, these opinion polls were first within Mount Kenya, 10 counties, and also within the 47 counties of Kenya. And in all of them, I emerged top. And the electoral college was also the same. I emerged top. But there were other considerations also. You know, I want to make it very clear that opinion polls and the electoral college were not the only methods that were available, because the selection of a running mate is an extremely personal decision of the presidential candidate, and he has at his disposal many factors that he considers. In fact, we count it as a privilege, those of us who were in that short list, that the party leader decided actually to use opinion polls, electoral college. He was not bound to do that. And also the final decision is his, and also he had at his disposal many other ways of coming to his conclusion. So the point is, to answer your question, what happened is that after putting together all the methods and parameters that were available, the aggregate pointed at Rigathi Gachagua to have been the leader in the aggregate, as opposed to the leadership.
When you include these other factors,
when you include all factors that
you feel like you can't quite speak about.
Yes, because they are in the realm of the party leader. They are not in our realm.
You have not done your own investigation. Out of curiosity, what could it be possibly?
Why should I wouldn't know, but I think it's not even an important issue, because, as I have said, there is even no obligation for the party leader to go out of his way to use some of the methods that were in the public domain.
Indulge me on a theory that's been out there. You've read this in the press as well. Some say that it seems to have come down to the ability to mobilize and the issue of regional numbers, Senator, and that the West, where Rigathi comes from, has more numbers than the East, where you come from. Would you accept this as a possible reason for your deselection when it came down to the 2 of you?
I will not be convinced that that could be a reason, for the following reasons. First of all, our party is the party that carries the Kenyan dream. And the Kenyan dream is the dream of equal opportunity for every citizen. That is what underpins our party's ideology and manifesto. If what you are saying is in the talk would be true, then the Electoral College would have reflected that reality, because the Electoral College was made up of people's representative, mainly from the region, the same region you're talking about, west and east, wherever, all those counties. And the voting was overwhelming in my favor. And these are overwhelming. And these were people elected from the same areas you're talking about. So that theory does not hold any water. May I just say that in the total sum of all the considerations and parameters available, my brother, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, emerged a winner, and you saw that in my congratulatory message, which I personally did to him on phone yesterday at 9 o'clock, and later on in the press statement that I made last evening. I called him and I told him, my brother, congratulations. I also told him I'll support him and I'll subordinate myself to his leadership now that he's our deputy captain. And thirdly, that we, you know, because he's mourning, as soon as he's finished with resting his dear brother, let him feel free to assign me responsibilities, and shortly I'm looking forward to that happening, so that we go back to work, just to show that if I had grievances, I would not be reaching out to him, because it's me who called him. He didn't call me. It's me who called him. And two, I was not under obligation also to do that. That is a practice we have not established in this country. And I hope going forward, those who lose elections or selections should be courageous enough to reach out to those who win, congratulate them, so that that then becomes a confirmation that this contest is not personal, neither is it petty.
Yes.
It is democracy.
I want to read a comment from a viewer. Again, I said some are still aggrieved. You may have found peace in this situation, but this is from a viewer, BMJ Moreidi, who says, kindly ask Professor Kindiki, would he say to those who, after word was out that indeed the opinion polls and the MP's vote favored him as DP Ruto's running mate, there are those who feel that what ultimately happened was a disregard for democratic principles. How would he respond to that? And that's from a viewer this evening.
That is not true, because as I've said again, the appointment of a running mate is not, even in places where this exercise has taken place for centuries, is not a process that is done through universal suffrage. It's not done through universal suffrage, and that's why I think our party actually went out of its way to introduce, you know, these parameters, and they are good, by the way.
But wouldn't universal suffrage be the best way, Professor? And you're the professor, you know, because, here.
You know, the running mate is simply a running mate. There's a runner. Then you are a mate to the runner, meaning that you are an assistant to the person. So it will be a bit untidy to over-democratize that, because this is somebody's assistant. It's like somebody choosing you your assistant, and therefore I believe the method used by our party was fair, it was rigorous, it went beyond the expectations, and I'm very confident and happy with the outcome. I am not complaining, and I want to ask all those who supported me, whether ordinary party members, party officials, elected leaders, I want to urge them and plead with them to forget the process and the dynamics that we went through. In any campaign, in any contest, you expect, you expect a bit of contestation and disputation. But when it is over, you know, it's like playing in a friendly match. When that is over, we must now join our hands and rally behind our new deputy captain and deliver the prize home. For me, that is what counts more than anything
That's else. Your priority at the moment. Senator, I must confess, you seem a little different from the man we saw addressing the nation, should be yesterday, and some of the statements that you made yesterday that Kenyans are still reflecting on. For example, you said, as for me, no elective and appointive roles are in my interest after the 10th of August. What did you mean by that?
First, with regard to elective positions, I said as follows, and I repeat the same, that I have been a senator for 10 years now, until August the 9th. Because I was contesting for the running mate position, I had, with the consensus between myself and the party, agreed to exit county politics. It means after the 9th of August, or rather it means on the 9th of August, I will not be running for any position. So technically,
automatically,
I'm out of elective politics. So I have to take a break because I didn't get the running mate slot. I am not running for county, any county position. The timelines are already gone. And I made it very clear that that decision not to run for a county seat was a consensual decision between myself and my party. And therefore, I can't complain of a decision which I consented to.
Talk to me about the appointive role.
Now, so with regard to, just for the elective politics, I've seen some of the media reports saying that I have quit politics. And I remember repeatedly saying I am not a quitter. I don't even understand what quitting means. I know this country, the fact that even somebody like me, with the kind of background I have, can come this far, speaks volumes about this country and the opportunity it presents for people who want to make their talents available to the nation. So, in terms of elective politics, I'll be back.
But you're taking a break,
but not
you'll be back.
On 9th, by design, not by default, by design, on 9th, I'll not be in the ballot. But in future, I'll be back in the ballot, and it's not in the county.
So let's imagine
it's not in the county.
On 9th, the side that you support takes over government, and they want to offer you a position. You've told them as of your press statement that I'm not interested.
No, I didn't say I'm not interested. I just said no. I have decided that I am not available for any appointive position.
You stand by that tonight?
Reasons. Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
I am very clear. When I make a public statement, I've thought about it over and over again. Extremely clear. I want to repeat, I am not available. And I said yesterday, and I repeat today, that is my decision. It's my personal decision. I have consulted with my family. I have consulted with those who ought to be consulted. It's my personal decision. And the same way I respect party decisions, personal decisions also needs to be respected. And the reason why I said that, I also provided in yesterday's statement, which is, I spent about 12 years of my life in public sector, but doing different things outside politics. I was an academic. I was a consultant for international organizations, very many of them. I was an advocate. I was a lawyer practicing locally and internationally. I had that career for about 12 years. When I decided to come to politics, I had decided to apply my talents for the rest of my life in helping humankind and helping fellow Kenyans solve the national problems through elective positions, through politics, through political positions, not through appointment positions. If I wanted to remain in what I was doing before, I would have been Attorney General many years ago. Perhaps I would have been a Chief Justice by now, because I'm now 22 years after I got admitted into the role of advocate. So I qualify to be a Chief Justice. I qualify to be Attorney General. I would have perhaps been appointed many other things. Remember, President Kibaki had given me a job way back in 2008 after the post-election violence. I was hardly 34 years old, and I was appointed to work in the Ministry of Justice as Secretary for National Cohesion under Mother Karua. Now, point is, why I said I'm not available is because
and I am not, back there.
I am not, because of what has happened, I am not saying that I can go back to what I came back from. So I'll wait until the next opportunity comes. And since we have our presidential candidate, William Ruto, who is going to win, and we really pray that he wins, we want to support him fully. In fact, we have reported back to duty. And I'll be telling you what I'll be doing for the party in the next 82 days. We also hope he will do his complete 10 years because he's a good man. He has a good plan for the country. Maybe in future, after 10, 20 years, 30 years, I don't know, if an opportunity arises,
you may take it.
I may take it at that time.
So
in an elective position, but not in an appointive position.
So what might your life look like after August 9th? Might we see you in the corridors of education, fraternity, teaching?
No. I left the academy.
You left the academy?
I left the academy. So I'll just bid for my time. You know, I'm a lawyer, by the way. I practice law. Every day of my life, I practice law. I have a very active legal practice. So that's one of the things I'll be doing at least more freely than before. I have clients. I have an active legal practice. And so maybe I'll expand on that and take up some of my international clients whom I had slowed down in serving. That's one of the options. But still, I'll be available for my party. Remember yesterday I said that during this sabbatical, if my party requires me to assist in any way, and you don't have to be appointed formally to be able to support your party, I'll be available. And finally, and I think this is critical, because I know many party members have